Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you today's MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest. Today's game pits the visiting 10th seeded King Philip Warriors against the hosting 7th seeded Brookline High Warriors. That's right, it's Warriors against Warriors here in the round of 16. Brookline, the 7th seed in the tournament, having just escaped a potential trap game against 26th seeded Woburn last week, or rather this past Sunday. Came away with a 3-1 win in that one, while King Philip took care of 23rd seeded Beverly in their round of 32 contest by a blistering score of 6-0. Two strong high-level teams. And pretty close in seeding. I mean, this is the second closest matchup in terms of seeding here in the round of 16, with the only one closer being number 8 Franklin against number 9 Wellesley. And you never know what could happen once you get into these rounds. You never know what's going to happen with playoff soccer in general. We've already had the biggest upset of the tournament back in the round of 32 as number 32 seed Newton North dethroned the number 1 seed Acton Boxborough by a final score of 1-0 back on Sunday. So that should just be a lesson to all. Do not look past your opponent, no matter the seeding. But even when you take that into account, these are two very close teams in terms of seeding, and we should have a hard-fought contest for you here today. We're slated for a 4 p.m. start, so we're a little less than 10 minutes out. So with that in mind, first, a quick reminder. If you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. You know, this girls' soccer team, pretty much the last playoff team left for Brookline here in this fall season. So whether or not I'll have more streams from the playoffs will depend on, you know, how things go from here on out. And then my last live stream of the fall, one way or another, is going to be on Thanksgiving morning, when I'll have the live stream of the Thanksgiving Day football game between Brookline and Newton North. But for right now, this is the game we've got, and as always, if there's anything you would like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. You know, whether it's just, rooting for your favorite team or player, commenting on the action, or if it's something more drastic, like you notice a technical difficulty with the live stream, or you notice me flubbing the pronunciation of someone's name, then I highly encourage you to say something in the live chat. Two teams are now heading to the sidelines to huddle up before we get this one underway. So very quickly, let's go through the rosters here today. We'll start with the visiting King Philip Warriors. Their roster is not in order of jersey number, so forgive the all over the place number arrangement we got here. First off, we have a senior co-captain, number 4, Ella Paisani. A senior co-captain, number 1, Grace Lawler. A senior co-captain, number 8, Danielle Gresham. A senior, number 15, Rachel DeFlaminis. A senior, number 12, Isla Wablin. A senior, number 16, Maggie Griffin. A senior wearing either number 0 or 23, depending on if she's playing keeper, Lauren Casper. A senior number 7, Brooke Noonan. A senior number 14, Gabriela Rodriguez. A junior co-captain number 17, Heidi Lawrence. A junior number 13, Eilish McGowan. A junior number 11, Kylie Menendez. A sophomore keeper wearing either number 00 or 21, McKenna Norman. A junior number 10, Allison Smith. A junior number 6, Tessa Sarkar. A junior number 18, Olivia Florindi. A junior number 2, Riley Wesley. A sophomore number 5, Addison Lamoth Vaughn. A sophomore number 24, Michaela Thompson. A sophomore number 3, Danny Lamuschio. A sophomore number 25, Rihanna Mason. A sophomore number 28, Ali Poche. A sophomore number 19, Bridget Scott. A sophomore number 20, Sierra King. A sophomore number 22, Ava Sansusi. And a freshman number 0, Lauren Obara.
Visitors, King Philip Regional High School Warriors and your Brookline Warriors.
And the PA announcer now taking over, so we should get starting lineups in just a minute.
Student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare.
And I see we've already got someone in the live chat. A recent graduate of the Brookline High girls soccer team last year, starting keeper Juliana Anastopoulos, in here saying, "Let's go Brookline. Talia, I love you." Good to see Juliana showing support for her successor between the pipes in Talia Thompson.
And the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon an MIAA school or security official. And now the starting lineup for the visitors, King Philip High School Warriors.
So here comes the starting lineup for King Philip.
Number 4, senior captain Ella Pisani.
First, the senior co-captain, number 4, Ella Paisani.
Senior captain number 8, Danielle Gresham.
Senior co-captain, number 8, Danielle Gresham.
Senior number 0, Lauren Casper.
A senior number 0, Lauren Casper, who will be starting in net for King Philip.
Junior number 17, Heidi Lawrence.
A junior co-captain, number 17, Heidi Lawrence.
Junior number 13, Eilish McGowan.
Another junior number 13, Eilish McGowan.
Junior number 10, Allison Smith.
Another junior number 10, Allison Smith.
Junior number 2, Riley Wesley.
Another junior number 2, Riley Wesley.
Sophomore number 5, Addison Lamoth Vaughn.
A sophomore number 5, Addison Lamoth Vaughn.
Sophomore number 24, Michaela Thompson.
Another sophomore number 24, Michaela Thompson.
Sophomore number 3, Danny Lamuschio.
Another sophomore number 3, Danny Lamuschio.
Sophomore number 25, Rihanna Mason.
A sophomore number 25, Rihanna Mason.
King Philip High School is coached by
And that is the starting lineup for King Philip.
Paul Sullivan and S.J. Fleck.
Their head coach is Gary Pichel, with assistant coaches Bill Wallace, Paul Sullivan, and S.J. Fleck. Now here comes the starting lineup for the Brookline Warriors.
Talia Thompson.
A senior co-captain starting in net, number 00, Talia Thompson.
Number 3, Sarah Gonzalez.
A senior number 3, Sarah Gonzalez.
Sophomore number 5, Velena Chernichev.
A sophomore number 5, Vilena Chernichev.
Captain number 8, Sari Frankel.
Senior co-captain number 8, Sari Frankel.
Senior number 11, Eleanor Bergstein.
Senior number 11, Eleanor Bergstein.
Senior number 13, Gianna Pentland.
Senior number 13, Gianna Pentland.
Senior number 14, Madeline Moore.
Senior number 14, Madeline Moore.
Senior captain number 15, Cecilia Wager.
Senior co-captain number 15, Cecilia Wager.
Sophomore number 18, Anna Leslie.
Sophomore number 18, Anna Leslie.
Sophomore number 19, Sydney Freese.
Sophomore number 19, Sydney Freeze.
Senior number 27, Alexandra Levy.
And finally, a senior number 27, Alex Levy.
Our great nation.
And now here comes the national anthem.
Sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand. We thank you for your service to our country. Now, we invite all to stand for the playing of our national anthem. Brookline is coached by Ben Peters, Paul assistants, Maddie Cheney, Kayla.
All right, that was our national anthem, and now we are getting ready to get this one underway. The 7th-ranked Brookline Warriors against the 10th-ranked King Philip Warriors. And we got our favorite Brookline fans from Argentina tuning into this one as well. Happy to see you guys tuning in, and that's another fun thing we can do in the live chat is folks can say where they're tuning in from. Is I always love hearing about all the places, that people can still support Brookline soccer, regardless of where they are. Especially when it comes to a sport like soccer that has such worldwide appeal. It's always fascinating to see where folks are tuning in from. So one important thing to look at with Brookline, when they faced Woburn on Sunday, they came out a little flat and actually ended up trailing the number 26 seed 1-0 early in the first half. And they just looked like a team that was playing not to lose instead of a team playing to win. They adjusted very well later in the first half and even better in the second half in order to ultimately take the win. But against a team as high-seeded as King Philip, you can't give them anything. This is a game that could very well be decided by a 1-0 final score. So you can't take any minutes off in this one. You got to go full speed all 80 minutes. You see the Brookline Warriors over on my left in their blue jerseys with their white outline jersey numbers. And on my right, we see the King Philip Warriors in their white jerseys with their dark green jersey numbers. We got someone tuning in from Seattle as well. Happy to see you tuning in, Serena. And I know we're going to have mostly Brookline fans on this stream, but if there are any King Philip fans in this stream and you notice me butchering the pronunciation of anyone's names, please, I encourage you to let me know. Two teams taking the field. Talia Thompson manning the spot between the pipes for Brookline, while Lauren Casper is minding the net for King Philip. Brookline getting the opening possession, playing from my left. They'll be dribbling towards the setting sun. We'll see if that has any impact. Gianna Pentland at midfield getting ready to get us started. The state tournament round of 16 is underway. Pass goes back to Alex Levy, further back to Sydney Freeze, across to Cecilia Wager. Now over to the far side to Anna Leshley. Leshley dribbling up the far side, sends a pass up to Vilena Chernychev, up to Madeline Moore, and up to Pentland. Pentland dribbling, swings one across to Sari Frankel. Frankel's got some space to work, turns around. Still dribbling, decides to send it back to Leshley. Leshley dribbling, gets through a couple defenders, now sends one down the far side for Moore. Moore's got it, crosser coming into the box, and it's headed away by the King Philip defense. Moore tried to take it again, but it's booted away by number 4, Ella Paisani. Wager kicks it back upfield, bounces off ahead. Pentland kicks it up into the air. It's downed, recovered by Pentland. Pentland trying to stay with it. She does, passes out to the far side to Moore. Now back to the middle to Levy, across to Frankel. Frankel dribbling, looking, turning back around. Now she's got a bit of a hole, dribbling through, pass ahead, collected by Pentland. She's turning around, tries a pass, deflected. And Eleanor Bergstein just going to box out and let that one roll out of bounds. It will stay Brookline ball. Sara Gonzalez throws it in, bouncing along, kicked away by number 25, Rihanna Mason. Deflects back to Wager. Wager boots it upfield. Race to the ball, and number 5 is going to get there first, Addison Lamoth Vaughn. Gonzalez throws it in for Bergstein. Knocked away, but recovered by Gonzalez. Pass back to Frankel. Frankel trying to dribble around. Lost control of it. Out of bounds. It's going to be King Philip ball. Throw in. Deflected along. Paisani's going to take it. Boots it upfield. Booted back by Leshley. Off ahead. Downed by Freeze. Freeze passes up to Frankel. Frankel dribbling towards the middle, passes through to Chernychev, now across to Bergstein. Bergstein dribbling, passes back to Frankel. Frankel dribbles through a hole, looking, tries to send a pass up, walled off, and taken back by Lamoth Vaughn. Passed up to Paisani, who kicks it upfield, but it's taken by Freeze. Pass to the near side to Gonzalez, lost it out of bounds. Throw-in is going to come from Lamoth Vaughn. Off the head of Paisani. Off another head. Again, deflecting like crazy. Now taken, stolen away by Levy. Danielle Gresham, number 8, was starting to threaten. Kick from Wager is deflected, but manages to roll its way up to Bergstein. Bergstein battling Lamoth Vaughn, and Lamoth Vaughn takes it away. Lamont Vaughn passed to the middle, now passed up from Gresham to Pisani. Her kick walled off by Wager. Wager fights through Pisani, now sends a kick up to Bergstein. Bergstein dribbling with it. Bergstein passes across to Chernychev. Chernychev sending it to the far side to Moore. Moore takes it, going into the box, and it's saved by Casper. Brookline showing a lot of energy and assertiveness early, which you like to see in a playoff match like this. Moore passes for Chernychev, tries to spin away, but the ball is wrenched away from her. Long kick up is walled off again by Wager. Wager kicking it up the near side. Gonzalez not going to get there in time, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. Throw in from Lamont Vaughn. Aimed at number 17, Heidi Lawrence. And Lawrence gets double teamed, lose the ball out of bounds. It's Brookline ball. No, it isn't. It's King Philip ball. No, it is Brookline ball. Okay, confusion. Gonzalez looking around, throws this one in, deflected down, lost out of bounds. The last touched by number 13, Eilish McGowan. Gonzalez throws in, kicked away. Levy recovers it, trying to keep it away from Pisani, passes across to Leshley. Leshley sends it out to the far side to Moore. Moore dribbling up the far side. Moore might have a half of a step, but no, it's kicked away out of bounds. I believe that was Mason. Stays Brookline ball. Throw in from Moore. Gets to, I believe, Pentland. Pass back to Moore and her kick is deflected out of bounds. That will stay Brookline ball. Throw in to Levy, tapped back to Moore. Moore trying to send a pass through, deflected. Loose ball is taken away by King Philip. The clearing kick deflected by Levy, but taken by number 24, Michaela Thompson. Thompson trying to work up the far side, lost out of bounds. Throw in up the far side, booted away by Leshley, deflects off ahead, now booted back up by Mason, and out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in from Moore, stolen back by Mason, long kick taken by Freeze. Freeze turns around, passes it back to Thompson. Thompson kicks it up for Leshley. Leshley turns around, her kick deflected out off the forward pressure by Danny Lamusio. Brookline ball, Moore getting ready to throw this one in. Off the head of Chernychev, off the head of Moore, off the boot of one of the King Philip players. Wager takes it, passes to Leshley. Leshley kicking it up the line. Kicked back, taken now by, I believe, Gresham. Pass across, intercepted by Frankel. Frankel dribbling on the counterattack. Finds Gonzalez open on the near side. Gonzalez starting to dribble, sends a pass up, finds Bergstein. Bergstein across back to Frankel. Frankel dribbling, escapes her defender. Her defender keeping up the pursuit. Frankel escapes, but another help comes in, and Frankel drew the foul. They called the foul on number 10, Allison Smith. And now Brookline has a free kick opportunity from relatively short range. We see Levy and Frankel lining up for this one. This will come from Frankel. Frankel kicks one into the box, finds Pentland, but booted away by Pisani. Leshley kicks it back in, but it's walled off by King Philip. Leshley kicks it upfield again, downed by Chernychev this time. Chernychev finds a bit of an opening, kicks it to the near side, deflects, but taken by Gonzalez. Pass back is deflected away and taken by Pisani. Pisani lifts it, gonna go all the way down to the Brookline end. Chased down by Wager, who smartly just puts it out of bounds. Pisani throws it in, and that's going to be a foul against Frankel as she came over the back of McGowan. Paisani taking the free kick, launching it towards the box. Caught by Talia Thompson. Thompson rolls it in up the far side for Maddie Moore. Moore kicks it up to Pentland. Pentland dribbling, passes back to Levy, now over to Frankel. Frankel boots one up the far side. Moore off to the races, trying to get to it before it gets out of bounds. She does. Crosser into the box. That one is in! I can't tell if that went off the head of Gianna Pentland or if that was just a score by Moore. What an amazing kick! Okay, unofficially I'm being told that Gianna got her head on it and scored. So count that first goal in the 10th minute, scored by number 13, Gianna Pentland, assisted by number 14, Madeline Moore. And if it turns out that Pentland didn't touch it, maybe I'll go back and look at the tape or ask someone afterwards, then the goal would be Madeline Moore, assisted by Sari Frankel. Either way, Brookline takes a big 1-0 lead. King Philip was starting to pressure there, but the pass intercepted by Frankel. Frankel dribbling, kicks it upfield, knocked down by Smith. Paisani tries to kick it along off the head of Gonzalez. Booted up by Frankel. Hard collision, and it's recovered by Bergstein. Couldn't stay with it, kicked away by Mason. They're wasting no time getting back in the action here after that opening score. Paisani dribbling, knocked away by Frankel, taken by Fries and passed up to Frankel. Frankel passes it up to Bergstein, now back to Levy, now popped up in the air, and that's going to be chased down by Smith. Now walled off by Gonzalez, now kicked up. Paisani whiffs on that kick, and instead Levy kicks it upfield, finds Bergstein, tapped back to Gonzalez. Gonzalez tried to pass off the mark, kicked away by Paisani. Bouncing along, it's going to be chased down by Fries. Fries sends it back to Thompson. Thompson passing it up the far side to Leshley. Leshley dribbling, starting to pick up speed. Anna Leshley, she's got great speed for a defender. Passes it up to Pentland. Pentland back to Frankel, stolen away by Paisani. Paisani trying to send a kick up the line off the mark, and Fries sends it back to Wager, who sends it back out to Fries on the near side. Fries sends it down to Gonzalez, out of bounds. Throw in from Lamoth Vaughn, off the boot of Fries and out of bounds. Lamoth Vaughn throws it in again, off the head of Gresham. Fries collects it. Fries dribbling. Bit hard to see, it was taken away, but then booted out of bounds by Wager. Now this one bouncing towards the box and taken by Thompson. Now Wager passes it up to Frankel. Frankel back to Fries. Fries threads the needle, gets it up to Bergstein. Lamoth Vaughn again wrestles it away. Passes back to Smith. Up the field, kicked away by Levy. Kicked back by Gresham. Finds a target, pass back a bit off the mark. And number 2 is going to kick that one upfield. Michaela Thompson chasing after it. Hard collision with Wager, and that gave just enough interference for Thompson to swoop in and take it. Rolled into Leshley. Leshley turning around. Forward pressure from Thompson. Passes to the far side to Moore. Moore kicks it. Booted away by Smith. Off the head of Paisani. Fries swoops in, kicks it up to Frankel. Frankel sends it down the near side to Gonzalez. Gonzalez dribbling towards the middle. Kicks a long leading kick. It's a race to the ball and scooped up by Casper. A little bit more to the left, and Maddie Moore might have had a chance to knock that one in herself. This one bouncing along. Pisani collects it, sends a long lifting kick. Going to go off the head of Wager, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. No, it isn't. Leshley kept it in bounds. Pass back to Wager, kicked up field. Bergstein trying to tap it along. Bit of a chance here. Oh, Gianna Pentland off to the races. Gianna Pentland with Mason behind her, tripped up. No call. Punted up. That seemed like it was going to be a breakaway score for Gianna Pentland, and then when she got tripped up from behind, you thought maybe a foul would be called in the box and it would be a PK chance, but no call, and play continues. Gresham boots it upfield. Leshley going to get there first, tap it up for Moore. Moore. Kick is booted away by Mason. Deflecting through. Now Pisani takes it, kicks it. Taken by Wager, passed up to Frankel. Frankel boots a leading kick. Bergstein off to the races now, and it's just knocked away at the last second by Smith. It's still in bounds. Pass goes to Gonzalez, now to the middle, knocked away off the head, and Pisani boots it away. Recovered now by Moore. Moore trying to boot it back in. Pentland has got a beat on the ball. Pentland the shot! Gianna Pentland's got two! 2 goals in the first 15 minutes of the game for number 13, Gianna Pentland. And another assist for number 14, Madeline Moore. How about the Moore-Pentland connection, everybody? 2-0, the Brookline lead. I'll tell you what, folks, this looks like a completely different team from what we saw on Sunday. That was a team that looked tentative, looked like they were playing not to lose. This is a team on a mission here today. Moore boots this one. Bouncing along. Kicked up field where it's going to be taken by Freeze. Passed back to Wager. Wager swings it across to Leshley. Leshley boots it upfield for Moore. Pass over to Chernychev. Chernychev back to Wager. Wager's pass almost dangerously intercepted there by Lawrence, but instead it's taken by Freeze. Pass broken up. Thompson tried to take it. Wager broke it up. Levy boots it high in the air. King Philip starting to apply some offensive pressure here as Brookline decides to take some time and reset. Wager sends it all the way back to Thompson. Thompson gives it back to Wager. Wager boots it up the near side and into the stands. That's going to be King Philip ball. Throw in from Lamoth Vaughn. Deflected down. Booted towards the box. Bouncing over everyone. Dangerous chance. Number 3 with the ball. And Moore gets the favorable deflection. Maddie Moore getting it done on both sides, offense and defense, as that was a very dangerous chance for Danny Lamusio. Thompson kicks it over to Wager. Wager's pass intercepted by Lawrence. Dangerous chance for King Philip. Tripped up inside the box. No call again. The officials letting them play. And now we've got to stop for an injury as Lawrence is down. And we're going to have a brief stoppage. Hopefully Heidi Lawrence is okay. The score 2-0 in favor of Brookline with 22 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock here in the first half. We got a couple other folks tuning in. We got someone watching from Lincoln School. Thank you for tuning in, Intrepid Ice Hawk. And then Ira Fisher tuning in from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Good to see, and good to see folks giving the supportive messages in the live chat. If you're just joining us, the score is 2-0 in favor of Brookline. 2 goals, both scored by Gianna Pentland, both assisted by Madeline Moore. We've currently got an injured King Philip player, Heidi Lawrence, who appears to be up, walking off on her own power. Both teams now in this first half have had a play where they thought for sure they were going to get a PK chance in the box, but nothing called. I mean, it's tough, and I can definitely understand the frustration on both sides. I thought for sure both of those were going to end up as PK opportunities, but you know, I always say, even if you disagree with the calls, make sure you respect the officials. These guys are out here doing a thankless job for very little pay. And, you know, we've got a national shortage of these folks. And if, you know, we don't respect them, they'll walk. And then we won't be able to have the games. So while I may not necessarily agree with the calls on both of those plays in the box, you know, I also respect it's the official's call. So at this moment, just hoping that Lawrence is okay and that that's nothing too long-term. Doesn't matter who you're rooting for. You don't root for injury. So this is going to be a drop ball after the injury stoppage. 22:39 on the clock here in the first half. Dropped in, and Pentland sends it back to Wager. Swung across to Freeze. Freeze turns around, passes it across to Leshley. Leshley dribbling through a hole. Leshley still going, sends a pass through, walled off and kicked away, I believe, by Mason. Paisani boots it in the air, but it goes right to Moore. Moore swings it to the middle, cut off and kicked away by number 15, Rachel DeFlaminis. Now knocked loose, but they managed to get the pass back to Smith and swung across to Lamoth Vaughn. Lamoth Vaughn kicks it up the near side just a little bit too far for McGowan, and that is going to go out of bounds for a goal kick. I see we've got a question of who scored. So if you're just joining us, the 2 goals so far, both from Gianna Pentland, both assisted by Madeline Moore. And when you combine the goal that Pentland assisted on for Moore back in the Woburn game, those 2 players have now connected on 3 goals. Paisani launches one into the box, and it's going to bounce wide. So the Moore-Pentland connection has now hooked up for 3 scores in 2 games, heating up in the postseason. Thompson kicks it up the far side to Moore. Moore up to Chernychev. Give and go back to Moore, who tries to send up the line. Walled off, taken back by King Philip. Poked loose by Chernychev. Recovered by Pentland. Passed over to Frankel. Frankel directing traffic. Tries to kick one up. Knocked away by Lamoth Vaughn. Recovered by Gonzalez. Gonzalez dribbling back. Pass back to Wager, who kicks it all the way back to Thompson. Thompson up to Leshley. Leshley dribbling up once again. Passes back to Levy. Levy up to Frankel. Frankel turning around, lifts one down the near side. That's going to be too far for Gonzalez, and that's going to go out of bounds. Paisani boots one in the air. Knocked down by Wager, taken by Levy. Levy kick through the middle. Knocked away off ahead, and it's chased down by Freeze. Freeze sends a pass back. Thompson now sending it out to Leshley on the far side. Leshley kicks it up, finds Pentland. Pentland still dribbling with it. Wrestled away by, I believe, Gresham. Pass up the line, off mark, taken by Wager. Pass up to Levy. Kicked across to Freeze. Freeze, pass up to Levy. Right back to Freeze. Freeze Boots it upfield, taken by Bergstein. Bergstein pushed from behind, and there's a call against Allison Smith. Lining up for the free kick is Cecilia Wager from about the 49-yard line of the football field. This one sailing into the box, deflects off ahead, wrestling for it is Chernychev, tried to poke it to somebody, but nobody was there. Cleared out off the head of Leshley. Moore taps it along, but it's booted away once again. Off the head of Paisani, kicked up by Leshley, kicked right back into open space. Freeze takes it. Freeze turns around and resets, passes back to Wager. Wager dribbling, fakes out a defender. Pass to Levy, give and go back to Wager. Wager dribbling back and passing it across to Leshley. Leshley up to Frankel. Frankel dribbling around, sending a pass through, off the mark, almost hit Chernychev. You know, we talk about prolific pairings that have been able to connect. Frankel and Chernychev have connected on 2 goals back in the regular season. Off this deflection fight for the ball, taken by McGowan. McGowan pass up to Paisani, now over to Gresham, lifted high in the air, off the head of number 15 DeFlaminis. Now recovered by Wager, passed back to Leshley. Lifted up across midfield, deflects off Smith's head the wrong way. Off to the races they are. Mason tried to clear it, almost taken back by Bergstein, instead booted up by Lamoth Vaughn. Off the head of Levy, downed by Gresham. Up to DeFlaminis, pass off the mark, taken by Leshley, pass to the outside to Moore. Moore sends it back to Wager. Wager fakes, dribbles upfield, still dribbling with it, sends a pass up to Chernychev. Chernychev dribbling away from Gresham, pass to the outside to Moore. Moore chips it upfield, knocked away by Mason, kicked upfield, kicked back by Levy. Kicked back once again, we're going back and forth, and now taken by Frankel. Frankel dribbling, knocked away by Paisani. I think it deflected off the official, or maybe it was a handball. It was a bit hard to see. We're moving so fast here. This is playoff soccer. Quick free kick, wasting no time. Going up to Lamusio. Lamusio trying to cross it in. Downed by Freeze. Booted away by Wager. Taken now by Bergstein. Bergstein kicks it upfield. Booted back by Smith. Taken now by McGowan. McGowan passes it. DeFlaminis centers it. Oh, that skipped past Leshley. Swooping in and sliding for it is Thompson. Almost a big defensive lapse there by Brookline, but well backed up by Talia Thompson. Pass back to Wager, cross to Freeze, Freeze up to Frankel, Frankel to the near side to Gonzalez. Gonzalez knocked away from her by McGowan. Paisani fakes, turns around, now kicks it upfield. It's a race down the near side. Freeze going to get there first and pass it over to Wager. Wager. Pass up the middle to Levy. Kicked to the near side, back to Freeze. Freeze kicks it across to the middle to Chernychev. Chernychev turns around, passes to Levy. Levy's got some space to work. Boots it upfield. Race to the ball now. And winning that race is going to be number 2, Riley Wesley. We got some subs coming in on both sides. For Brookline, I see number 10, Amra Ukamadu, and I believe I see number 7, Nora Shu. And for King Philip, number 11, Kylie Menendez. Throw in. Booted away immediately by King Philip, headed down by Leshley. Ball is juggled, knocked loose. And taken for a second by Brookline, now stolen back by Paisani, but stolen right back by Frankel. Frankel turning the corner. Passes up the near side to Amra Ukamadu. Ukamadu dribbling, cut off by Menendez. Ukamadu keeping up the pressure, deflects to Bergstein. Bergstein to Pentland. Pentland lost track of it. Frankel swoops in and takes it. Pass over to Levy. Levy dribbling, lifts one towards the box, too far, scooped up by Casper. Casper punts this one. Bouncing along, deflects off ahead. Chernychev takes it. Kick is knocked back, taken by Paisani. Kicked away by Levy. Almost raced to the ball. Oh, Commodore got the deflection. Amru Commodore off to the races. Easy money! Amra Ukamadou makes it 3-0 Brookline. What a dominant first half for the Brookline Warriors. Unbelievable there. We've got our third goal of the game already. This one is stolen by Chernychev, pass to the outside to Shu. Shu stolen away. Stolen back for a second by Chernychev, lost her footing. It's taken away by King Philip. Now battling, it's stolen back by Leshley. Brookline's just been a wall defensively all day. Shu to Chernychev, back leading for Shu. Shu's kick deflected away. Wesley going to get there first. Wesley kicks it up the line, finds a target. Couple passes, and now King Philip's got some space to work. I believe that's Paisani kicking it upfield. Deflected out of bounds off Leshley. Throw in. Taken by Thompson. Michaela Thompson dribbling up the far side. Walled off by Leshley. And just going to let that roll out for the goal kick. And all that craziness, of all the deflections on that last goal, I forgot who got the last pass before Ukamadou scored it. So if anyone in the live chat remembers who got that last pass for the assist on that goal by Amra Ukamadou, please let me know in the live chat so I can give proper credit out here. Freeze, passes up to Frankel, further up to Bergstein. Bergstein dribbling, still dribbling, pass up to Ukamadou. Ukamadou off to the race again. Now it's booted away by Mason. Throw in. Frankel takes it. Frankel pass to the middle, finds Pentland, tapped back to Levy. Levy taps it ahead for Frankel. Frankel with a fancy feet takes the ball, passes it up the near side to Bergstein. Bergstein dribbling through, tries a pass, walled off, and recovered by King Philip. Paisani kicks it up, Freeze, taps it over to Levy. Levy, pass kicked away, and it's a race to the ball, and Wager is going to win that one. Wager's pass a bit off the mark as Thompson has to race out and kick it up to Levy, who sends it back to Wager. Wager up to Freeze now. Freeze up to Frankel. Frankel tries to send up the line, walled off by Menendez. Menendez, pass up, knocked away from DeFlaminis. Pass to Bergstein, her pass knocked away by Gresham. DeFlaminis takes the ball, pass to Paisani. Paisani kicks it up, and Wager is going to get there first, and she's just going to box out Thompson, let this one roll out for the goal kick. About 11 and a half minutes left here in the first half, and we got a sub checking in for King Philip. Appears to be number 12, Isla Wablin, replacing Rachel DeFlaminis. Thompson kicks it over to Wager. Wager lifts it over to Freeze. Freeze up to Bergstein. Bergstein couldn't get around Lamoth Vaughn. Pass to Paisani, who lifts one, trying to lead for Thompson. Leshley swoops in and boxes her out as Thompson slides in to take the ball. And good slide control to stay in the box so it wouldn't be a handball for going out of the goalie box. Wager takes it, pass over to Freeze. Freeze up the near side to Bergstein. Bergstein again struggling to get past Lamoth Vaughn. Paisani Kick is deflected in the air by Leslie. Thompson fighting for it. Thompson gets it. Michaela Thompson off to the races, turns around, passes it back to Menendez. Menendez's pass off the mark into open field, and Shu is going to take this one. Nora Shu off to the races. Shu kicks one upfield, walled off by Smith. Levy now taps it over to Frankel off the head, off the foot of Levy, goes back to Wager. Now over to Leslie. Leslie dribbling, passes over to Levy. Now to the near side to Freeze. Freeze dribbling, cross midfield. Freeze turning around and passing it back to Bergstein. Bergstein up the line, cut off again by Smith. As that one goes into the stands, it'll be Brookline ball. Substitution coming in for Brookline. Number 9, McKenna Hammond replaces Gianna Pentland. Taken now by Paisani. Paisani lifts it off the head of Wager. Thompson takes it. Thompson taps it back to Menendez. Menendez tries to send a pass through, knocked away. Kicked away by Leslie. Freeze gets it upfield. Racing in was Frankel, deflects off her and out of bounds. Paisani throws it in quick. Freeze boxing out, taps it over to Wager. Wager dribbling, pass over to Freeze. Freeze gets the favorable deflection out of bounds. They're trying to lead for Isla Weblin there. Weblin didn't quite work. We got a substitution coming in for Brookline. Number 21, Mirabelle Kesselman replaces Sari Frankel. And King Philip makes a substitution trying to see the jersey number as we are deep in the near side. Bit hard to see around the crowd. That's Lawrence back in the game as she sends the crosser, but it's caught out of the air by Thompson. Rifled back in for Shu. Shu. Pass up to Hammond, juggled it a bit, but it's recovered by Kesselman. Tried to dribble through, kicked away by Mason, I believe. Taken now by Lawrence. Lawrence pass through the legs, gets to number 12, Weblin. Weblin passes it across, now knocked away by Freeze. Kesselman fighting for it. Help comes in, but it is recovered by King Philip. Couple passes goes to Menendez on the near side. Menendez tries to lift one towards the box, booted away. Or into the air, rather, by Leslie. Deflected down by Lawrence. Booted away now by Freeze. That one's bouncing along, and it's booted up by Mason. Off the head of Chernychev. Off the boot of Mason again. And Lawrence trying to fight for it. Lawrence got a bit of a step, but not enough of one as Freeze cuts her off. Lawrence knocks it loose, but recovered by Freeze. Pass back to Wager. Wager kicks it up off the foot of Lamothe Vaughn, deflects back to Lamothe Vaughn, boots it high in the air, off ahead, into the box where the defensive wall is just going to box out and let Thompson scoop that one up easily. Just over 7 minutes left in the first half. Brookline with a very comfortable 3-0 lead as Bergstein takes it up the near side. Pass up to Kesselman. Kesselman kicked away from her by Menendez. Paisani now dribbling with it. Pass across, deflected. Chernychev battling for the ball. Chernychev wins the battle. Still dribbling with it, still holding on to it. Chernychev still dribbling. And now kicks it up the far side to Shu, who sends it back to Leslie. Leslie boots it upfield. Off the head of Lamothe Vaughn. Ukamadou chasing it down. Ukamadou has got speed up the near side. Ukamadou trying to gain the edge. Ukamadou slides in, tries to kick. Hard collision. What are they going to call? They're going to call for a corner kick. And with Sari Frankel out, it looks like they're going to send Alex Levy to the corner to take this corner kick. Going to be a bit hard to see through the crowd here at Parsons. Levy boots this one in, deflects down, stays in the box, and finally booted away. And Hammond just lets it roll out of bounds. It'll stay Brookline ball. Shu throws it in, walled down and booted away by King Philip. Knocked down once again, pass back to Shu. Shu dribbling, couldn't keep it in bounds, and it'll be King Philip ball. Throw in coming for King Philip. 5 minutes left here in the first half. Throw in bounces along, kicked in the air. And this one is kicked away now. Levy boots it high in the air. And that's going to bounce out of bounds. It'll once again be King Philip ball. Throwing across midfield, bouncing along. Leshley going to corral it. Leshley's kick walled off, I believe, by Wablin, knocked out of bounds, and that's going to stay King Philip ball. Oh no, they actually called a foul on Leshley. This is going to be a free kick. Looks like they're going to have Lamothe Vaughn take it. Lamothe Vaughn launches it towards the box, headed away by Leshley. Kesselman now boots it way upfield. This is a race. Ukamadu trying to swoop in with that speed, deflects the clearing kick, but now on the second try, it's cleared out. Throw in from Bergstein, and it's booted out of bounds. I'll tell you, whenever you see Ukamadu, just boosting up the speed like that, it really is. It's like that meme, like, as Brookline controls it, pass from Levy taken away by Paisani. 3.5 minutes and a slide deflection by Levy. Deflects off ahead, taken by Kesselman. Kesselman dribbling, sends it up the near side. Ukamadu chasing after, a bit hard to see. It's knocked out of bounds by Lamothe Vaughn. Throw in, bouncing along, booted away. Passed over to Lawrence now. Lawrence dribbling up the near side. Freeze keeping pace and walling her off, so the ball rolls out of bounds. Sydney Freeze has had such an interesting season this year. Started as a center back on a 4-back formation. Got moved up to wing striker after the injury to Eleanor Bergstein, and has now been in and out of the starting lineup. Now has really found her spot as a wing back in this 3-back formation that Brookline's running now, and she's done a very solid job. Easy to get overshadowed by the co-captain Cecilia Wager and the immensely athletically talented Anna Leshley, who has got things done on both offense and defense. But don't forget about the contributions of Freeze, as they're going to call a foul on Wager. She was trying to box out Paisani, and Paisani ended up falling down, so they called the push on Wager. We are in stoppage time, clock frozen at 2 minutes here in the first half. Brookline 3, King Philip 0. Addison Lamothe Vaughn lining up for the free kick. This one is booted towards the box, and it's going to curve away from everybody and be scooped up off the ground by Thompson. Thompson rifles it in to Bergstein. Bergstein kicks it up the near side. Stolen away by Menendez. Menendez passed to Paisani, now back to Gresham. Gresham dribbling and knocked loose by Kesselman, taken by Ukamadu. Pass to the middle, finds Chernychev. Chernychev fakes one way, now sends a kick out to the far side, and it's walled off and taken away by King Philip. Long leading kick. It's a race for the ball now. Lawrence trying to battle through. Combined efforts of Wager and Freeze kept that one away from Lawrence. Freeze passes it back to Wager. Wager Now scrumming with Lawrence, trying to get the favorable deflection, and she does. This will be a goal kick. This one is kicked upfield, gets to Hammond. McKenna Hammond dribbling, walled off by Gresham, but Hammond staying with the ball. Hammond trying to hustle with it, finally kicked away by Smith, taken by Kesselman. Now stolen away by Paisani. Lifted up, knocked down by Leshley. And Levy takes it. Pass to Leshley. And now deflects off the body of Chernychev, and Shu battling for it. Finally a pass sent up the line, off the mark, taken by Leshley. Pass back now to Wager. Wager dribbling up. And still going. Cecilia Wager now sends a leading kick up the near side. It's going to be a bit too far and scooped up by Casper. But I gotta say, I love how fluidly Brookline is using their backs as transition players here today, as that punt way off the mark and out of bounds. And that's going to be the whistle for halftime. Who is this team and where were they on Sunday? This feels like a completely different Brookline Warriors squad as they go into halftime with a 3-goal lead over the 10th-seeded King Philip Warriors. Goals so far, we had 2 by Gianna Pentland, both assisted by Maddie Moore, and then we had a 3rd goal by Amra Ukamadu. So during this halftime intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry saw a huge increase in demand for food assistance at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that number has remained steadily high ever since. The food pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, more than 4 times the rate of families served pre-COVID. The Brookline Food Pantry is fighting the good fight against hunger in our community, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish Church at 210 Harvard Street in Brookline on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the food pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. You can go online to that same website or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can help the Brookline Food Pantry to feed the Brookline community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And remember, you can always see the information, the link, the phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry, down in the description section down below. But for now, it is halftime. Brookline 3, King Philip 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'll be going off the mic for a bit, but I will be back with the second half, so you better stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts for today's MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest. A surprisingly one-sided first half between the 7th and 10th seeded teams as Brookline takes a 3-0 lead over King Philip. They really just feel like they've brought their game to another level here tonight, and it's been an absolute thrill to watch. 2 goals by Gianna Pentland, both assisted by Maddie Moore, and 1 goal by Amra Ukamadu. Not entirely sure who got the assist on Ukamadu's goal. I might look back, or if someone lets me know in the live chat. Either or. And remember, as always, if you're enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. If this score holds where it is and there are no lead changes, Brookline will be advancing to the round of 8. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. Subscribing to the channel can help. And of course, anything you'd like to say it in the live chat. King Philip will get the opening possession of the second half. And here we go. Heidi Lawrence passes it back. It's kicked upfield, deflects off Michaela Thompson, bounces past Lawrence and is recovered by Sari Frankel. Frankel's pass kind of slices off her foot, but she does get it out to the far side to, I believe, Sara Gonzalez. Ball ricochets several different ways. Deflects down, and Alex Levy passes it back to Cecilia Wager, who boots it high in the air. It's knocked down, recovered by Frankel. Frankel sends a pass up the far side for Eleanor Bergstein. Bergstein's kick deflected and booted away by King Philip. Bounces down to Fries, who passes for Levy, who just barely gets that one past Ella Paisani. Now Frankel dribbling with it. Frankel still dribbling, still going. Sari Frankel finally gets rid of it to Vilena Chernichev. Now over to Maddie Moore on the near side. Now for Frankel again. Frankel again showing the ball handling skills. Passes across to Levy. Levy taps it for Chernichev. Chernichev dribbling. Pass to the near side. Moore trying to chase it down. And I can't really see through the student section what happened, but we got an out-of-bounds King Philip ball. Throw in is knocked out of bounds by Anna Leshley. Another throw in is deflected again by Leshley and chased down by Sydney Fries. Fries sends it back to the netminder, Talia Thompson. Thompson out to the near side to Anna Leshley. Leshley upfield to Gianna Pentland. Pass gets to Moore. Moore kicks it up to Pentland. And it's knocked loose. And it's kicked upfield now, taken by Mason. Offensive pressure as Allison Smith gets the pass out to the far side to Addison Lamoth Vaughn. Knocked loose. Lamoth Vaughn recovers pass back to Smith. Kicked upfield. Scrum for the ball is won by Paisani. Sent up the far side. Dribbling. Trying to gain the edge. Knocked away by Fries, and that will set up a corner kick for King Philip. This one coming in high, off the head of Lamoth Vaughn, and that one is in. No, not Lamoth Vaughn, that's Gresham. Danielle Gresham nets that one off the header from King Philip's first corner kick of the game. Brookline's got to be careful. This game is far from over. Pentland passes it back to Levy. Levy sends it back to Freeze. Cross to Wager. Wager over to Leshley. Leshley passes it up to Pentland, tapped over for Moore on the near side. Moore trying to gain an edge here. Cut off and kicked out of bounds by number 25, Rihanna Mason. Moore throws it in off the mark, and it's going to be booted away by Smith. Kicked back and forth and back, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. That'll be King Philip ball. Mason throws it in to Thompson. Michaela Thompson boots it upfield. Wager is going to get there first and tap it out of bounds. Throw in, broken up, and Moore steals it away. Kicks upfield for Pentland, misses Pentland, and it's taken by number 2, Riley Wesley. Now Levy boots it high in the air, headed down, recovered by Paisani. Kick, headed away by Leshley. Paisani tries to kick it. It's recovered by Moore. Pass to Chernychev, knocked away from Chernychev, and now Thompson gets the ball. Thompson dribbling up the near side, crosser to the middle, walled off by Freeze, and collected by Thompson. Thompson gives it to Frankel. Frankel up the far side to Gonzalez. Pass stolen away by Paisani. Given to Lawrence, or no, McGowan. And now pass up. McGowan is being boxed out by Freeze, and that's going to force the goal kick. Eilish McGowan couldn't corral that one. Good defense again by Freeze. Freeze now with the ball. Kicks it upfield. Deflected and taken by Pentland. Pentland passes it across to Frankel. Frankel fakes. Still looking, dribbling towards the middle. Passes it back to Levy. Levy pass across to Leshley. Leshley back to Wager. Up to Moore. Moore gets around her defender. Moore's pass deflected away. Moore swoops in and forces it up to Pentland, where it's knocked out of bounds and will be Brookline ball. How about the hustle from Maddie Moore? Throw in for Pentland. Pentland pass back to Moore, back to Pentland. Pentland dribbles, pass deflected and taken by Thompson, walled off by Leshley. Leshley up to Moore. Back to the middle, misses, taken by Paisani. Pass up, knocked away by Levy, taken back by Paisani, kicked away by Moore, taken by Chernychev. Chernychev spins away from her defender, launches a kick for Bergstein. Knocked into the air by Smith. Now Lamoth Vaughn kicks it upfield, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. It's not over yet, folks, and these teams are not playing like it is. Pass. Goes back to Levy now. Levy's pass, not enough juice on that one, and it's knocked into open field. Leshley going to get there first and pass it over to Moore. Moore launches a kick. It's walled off by Mason. Mason boots it high in the air. Leshley deflects it back, taken by Pisani. Pisani dribbling, pass walled off by Leshley again. Leshley pass across to Freeze. Freeze up the far side to Gonzalez. To the middle for Frankel. Frankel kicks it up the far side. And Gonzalez not going to get there in time. That'll be King Philip ball. Quick throw-in kick deflected out. And it will stay with King Philip. Throw in. Sending it up the far side, deflecting, booted high in the air. Off ahead. Wager kicks it to Freeze. Freeze escapes some defenders and passes it over to Leshley. Now back to Wager. Wager turns around and decides to send it back to Thompson. Thompson across to Wager. Wager up to Freeze. Freeze. And off the deflections, booted up. Off the head of Wager, swooping in and taking it and firing a shot that's going to go well wide was number 3, Danny Lamusio. To the near side, kicked upfield by Moore. Pentland battling for it. It's kicked away by Wesley. Mason sends it back to Smith. Smith kicks it upfield. It's taken by Chernychev. Chernychev sends a pass, miscommunication, and it's taken away by Lamusio. Lamusio up to Thompson. Thompson's kick into open field where it's taken by Wager. Now to Levy, back, intercepted, stolen away. Gets past Wager, off to the races. McGowan gets past Thompson, but gets tripped up by Thompson. And I think that's going to set up a PK chance for King Philip. The push by Eilish McGowan drew the penalty there. And she's going to line up to try and finish it on the PK. This could make it a 1-goal game. Shot is in. King Philip launching a strong comeback effort here. What was once a 3-goal game is now a 1-goal game with 30 minutes and 1 second still left in this ball game. Pass goes back to Levy and back to Freeze. This is going to be a real test for Brookline. Long kick off the head of Lamothe Vaughn. Frankel takes it, boots it high in the air. Frankel boots it up again, gets it over to Moore. Moore sends it up for Frankel. Frankel dribbling with it towards the middle. Frankel still dribbling, still looking. Lost track of the ball. It's knocked away and stolen by Pisani. Up to Lawrence. Lawrence battling with Freeze. Lawrence still going. Heidi Lawrence trying to get a step, but she's forced back, double teamed, and Levy takes the ball away. Levy gets a pass up to Bergstein, who passes for Frankel. Frankel corrals it, sends it up to Bergstein. Eleanor Bergstein trying to race for it, cut off and booted away by Lamothe Vaughn. Into open space where it's taken by Moore. Moore looking, decides to start dribbling herself. Moore turns, passes, knocked away by Mason, recovered by Frankel. Frankel dribbling, pass, deflects off Mason and booted away by Smith. Recovered now by, I believe, Gonzalez, passed up to Bergstein. Bergstein turns around, dribbling. Bergstein fires a shot, walled off and kicked away. Taken now by Levy. Levy boots a long one. Chernychev tried to crash. Ball's knocked loose but recovered by Casper. Chernychev was trying to crash the net on that play. No offsides was called, but couldn't quite get it. Deflection taken by Chernychev, fires a shot, and that's going to one-hop into the arms of Casper. Can't take your eyes off the action for a second. Casper punts it, deflected by Levy. Knocked down. Frankel takes it. Frankel dribbling. Frankel fires, deflected off the body of a defender and scooped up by Casper. Casper's punt. Downed. Taken by Pisani. Long kick upfield. Knocked down by Leshley. Recovered. Pass walled off by Leshley. Levy gives it to Leshley. Pass goes up to Frankel. Frankel manages to cut through a defender. Frankel sends a long leading kick. Pentland off to the races. Gianna Pentland as it knocked away out of bounds. Wesley, the last line of defense there. Throw in to Pentland. Pentland trying to fend off the defender. Kicks it, and that's going to sail out of bounds. Brookline starting to show that urgency on offense once again now that their lead is down to a single goal. But they've got to finish if they want to reclaim a multi-goal lead. Throw in off the head of Moore, off the foot of Frankel. Being chased down by Mason. Mason turns around, kicks it up the middle, taken by Frankel. Frankel back to Moore. Moore dribbling, tries to kick it through, but nobody's quite there. Chernychev was actually giving that one a chase. And you'll love to see the hustle just wasn't quite there. Casper punts it. Bouncing along. Kicked into the air. Pisani heads it upfield, taken by Freeze. Freeze sends it across to Moore. Moore dribbling, pass to Levy, give and go back to Moore. Moore being double teamed, recovers the ball, keeps dribbling, passes up to Chernychev. Chernychev to the outside. Now over to Levy. To Leshley now. Leshley sends it through the middle to Frankel. Frankel dribbling, forced to the ground, no foul call. And it's knocked away from Wesley by Leshley. Levy takes it past to Frankel. Frankel now dribbling with it, turns around, lifts one out to the far side to Bergstein. Bergstein kicked away by Lamoth Vaughn. Dribbling up the far side now. King Philip going on the counterattack. It's a race, and now ball is knocked loose. Kick nowhere near there, and it's taken by Wager. Good effort by Sara Gonzalez to stay on the chase down the far sideline. As this one is headed down and booted out of bounds, it will be King Philip ball. Levy passes up to Frankel. Frankel sends it back to Freeze. Over to Wager. Wager boots it upfield, taken by Pentland, who taps it out for Moore. Maddie Moore racing for it. Wesley gets there first and cuts it off. Wesley dribbling, sends a pass up to Thompson. Thompson pass to the middle, lifted high in the air by Lamusio. No offsides call as Pisani takes it. Pisani starts to crash into the box, and Leshley boots that one out of bounds. Throw in, Pisani passes it back, launched into the box, and I believe we've got an offsides call. Free kick to be taken by Wager. Wager upfield off the head of Gresham. Levy, pass for Freeze. Freeze back to Wager. Wager kicks it across to Leshley. Leshley to Moore. Moore dribbling. Now launches a kick into some open space. It bounces over to Chernychev. Chernychev up to Bergstein. Bergstein's pass off the mark, kicked away by Lamusio. Taken now by Levy and passed over for Freeze. Freeze kicks it up the near side. Gonzalez has a bit of an opening. Gonzalez charging in, tries to get a pass through, walled off, and they're going to let it roll out of bounds. That's going to be a corner kick. Surprising strategy letting that one roll out, as this does set up Brookline for a corner. Sari Frankel lining up to kick this one. We've seen one goal off a corner kick header scored by King Philip. Let's see what Brookline does with this corner kick opportunity. It's just their second corner of the game. There haven't been a lot of corner kicks tonight. Frankel's kick comes in. Off the head of Leslie, just wide. They got it to exactly who they wanted to get it to. Just a little bit too high. And Leslie didn't get the angle she wanted. And now it will be a goal kick for King Philip. Just under 22 minutes left in this game. And it's still a 1-goal game. Brookline 3, King Philip 2. Lamont Vaughn kicks it. Off the head of Gresham, taken by Levy. Levy pass back to Moore. Moore pass up to Frankel. Frankel back to Levy. Levy up to Pentland. Pentland fighting for position and just kicks it into the box where it's going to be scooped up easily by Casper. And we've got a foul call. So Pentland draws a foul there. And I think the official is now going to give a talking to Pentland as she got tangled up briefly with one of the King Philip defenders. Couldn't quite tell what was going on there. See Frankel and Levy lining up for this free kick within pretty short range. Levy takes the kick just over the bar. So it will be another goal kick for King Philip. Lamont Vaughn taking the goal kick once again as Brookline subs in number 10, Amra Ukamadu, replacing Eleanor Bergstein. Lamont Vaughn kicks it. Bouncing along, taken by DeFlaminis. Rachel DeFlaminis pass now stolen away by Brookline. Ukamadu dribbling with it, sending it up the far side for Gonzalez. Back to Ukamadu, now leading again for Gonzalez. This is probably going to be too far, and it's just going to roll out for another goal kick. That's kind of the double-edged sword of Ukamadu's immense speed in this game. She's able to break off and create some amazing offensive opportunities, but sometimes when it comes to the more precision-based parts of the game, like pinpoint passes or dribbles, sometimes she struggles. Ukamadu trying to force her way through here. It's knocked away, recovered for a second by Chernychev, taken away by Pisani. Kick bounces out of bounds. Freeze will have the Gonzalez will have the throw in. There's the throw in. It's knocked back all the way back to Freeze, who swings it over to Wager. And now it goes over to Moore. Moore passes it up to Frankel. Frankel gets around Pisani. Frankel off to the races, dribbling. Now popping one out to the far side to Ukamadu. Ukamadu now is trying to send a pass through, just off the mark. You saw Chernychev trying to crash for that one once again, but she was well marked by Smith on defense. Bouncing along, and that's going to be a foul called against Levy, going over the back of Pisani. Lamont Vaughn again lining up to take this free kick from about the 39-yard line of the football field. Long kick, deflected by Chernychev, booted away by Frankel, gets up to Pentland, knocked away from Pentland, recovered by DeFlaminis. DeFlaminis dribbling down the near side, walled off by Leslie. Leslie takes it, passes up to Frankel. Frankel staying with the ball, pass over to Levy. Levy passes back to Wager. who sends it over to Freeze. Freeze up the far side to Gonzalez. Gonzalez racing up the far side. Pass misses Ukamadu, taken by Smith. Kicked up, finds target. Now sent further upfield. Pass from, I think, Menendez. No offsides call. King Philip off to the races. The crosser is walled off. And that's going to be King Philip ball. Just under 17 minutes left. Brookline 3, King Philip 2. This one lifted into the box. Over the head. And Moore tries to kick it upfield. It's stolen away by Lamusio. Lamusio trying to turn around, find an edge. Slide tackle by Leshley. And they blow the whistle on that one. Or do they? No. I'm not sure what the whistle quite was. But looks like this is going to be a free kick for Brookline is what it looks like. And it looks like it's just going to be a goal kick. It's a good defensive hustle by Leshley. Thompson gives it to Wager, who launches it out the far side. Gonzalez keeps it in bounds. Or does she? No, she doesn't. Throw in for King Philip. Gonzalez scrumming for the ball. Crosser now coming in. Booted away by Leshley. Ricochet there, and Levy recovers, boots it upfield. It's headed down into open space where Chernychev takes it, launches it upfield. Lamothe Vaughn kicks it away. Pisani takes it, tries to send a pass, and it's almost taken by Chernychev, but not quite. Kicked upfield, kicked back by Wager. Levy now with it, pass to an open Moore on the near side, who taps it back to Leshley. Leshley barely gets that pass away, and Lamusio deflects it out of bounds. 15 minutes on the clock. Throw in. Deflects away by Mason. Wager now gets it over to Levy. Kicked into open space. Nobody there, and it's taken by Menendez. Menendez dribbling. Gets a pass through to Pisani. Pisani's kick walled off. Good hustle there by Moore. As Wager keeps it in bounds, sends it upfield. Wesley and Pentland scrumming for it. Out of bounds, King Philip ball. Mason throws it in, deflects, taken by Wager. Wager boots it all the way up to Ukamadu. Ukamadu trying to turn the corner, slide, tackle by Lamothe Vaughn, sends that out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in off the head of Pentland and out of bounds. Another throw in, downed by Freeze. Freeze boots it upfield, stays in bounds, but now deflects out off Ukamadu. Another throw in. Knocked down, Chernychev has it, taps it for Gonzalez. Gonzalez still trying to fight up the near side, knocked out of bounds, Brookline ball. Gonzalez throws it in, bouncing along, and Smith boots it high in the air. Now deflected out of bounds, last touched by Freeze. Quick throw in. Scrumming for the ball, it's knocked loose, and Chernychev boots it upfield. Ukamadu fights through a defender. Ukamadu trying to go off to the races, trying to gain the edge here down the far side. And finally cut off by Lamothe Vaughn. What a job Lamothe Vaughn has done as a wingback so far today, doing a lot to seal off both Eleanor Bergstein and Amra Ukamadu. No small feat. Got another substitution checking in, I believe, for King Philip as they get ready to throw this one in. And we got one coming in for Brookline. Number 9, McKenna Hammond, returns to the field, replacing Gianna Pentland. Throw in. Booted back by Freeze, still out of bounds. Another quick throw in. And this time lost off the foot of King Philip. Throw in from Gonzalez goes up to Ukamadu. Ukamadu manages to get a pass away, but it's off the mark. Stolen. I believe that's Menendez dribbling. Pass off the mark. Wager clears it out. Ukamadu keeps it in bounds, but passes off the mark. Kicked away by King Philip. Freeze. Boxes out Menendez, and it's knocked out of bounds by Menendez. That'll be Brookline ball. Throw in, knocked down. Scrum for the ball. Booted away by Brookline, booted right back by Smith. Off the head of Levy. Kicked back. Finds a target, but it's knocked away by Leshley. And now knocked away by Hammond, out of bounds. Wesley, a quick throw in for McGowan. Booted away by Leshley. Wesley kicks it back off ahead of Frankel, and now passed back to Mason. Mason swings it across to Smith. Smith gets a pass away upfield. Passed back to Lamothe Vaughn. Now up to, I believe, Menendez. Menendez battling with Freeze there, I believe. Manages to stay with the ball as she retreats. Now it's knocked loose by, I want to say, Chernychev. Couple passes, and now they set it up for Frankel. Frankel looking, sending a leading pass for McKenna. Hammond. Hammond off to the races. Hammond gets around one defender. Still looking. Tries a pass, walled off by Smith. Wesley kicks it, knocked further upfield. Booted away by Freeze. Battle for the ball is knocked up in the air and finally booted away by Lamothe Vaughn. Deflection, Ukamadu still applying forward pressure as it's kicked up the line. Taken now by Freeze. Freeze, upfield pass, knocked away. Race to the ball now. Wager's going to take it and send it all the way back to Thompson. Just over 10 minutes left in this one. Brookline 3, King Philip 2. Wager boots it upfield, wall down. King Philip working with the ball. Pass to the outside. No offsides. Crosser coming in. Off a foot. Off another. Big chance for King Philip. They couldn't get the right foot on it. Brookline cutting this one a little close for a team that was once up 3 scores, as that was a very juicy chance for King Philip. They just didn't get the bounces. Wager boots this one off ahead. Now pass is deflected away, kicked away by Freeze, or no, Levy, or either way, it's now knocked out of bounds and it'll be a goal kick. Apologies, it has gotten darker. It can be a little tricky seeing jersey numbers sometimes, particularly on the far end of the field. Wager setting up to take the goal kick for Brookline. Wager kicks a line drive. It's taken by Frankel. Frankel passes up the near side to Moore. Moore tries to kick it ahead. Walled off. Recovered by Moore. Booted high in the air. Off the head of Smith. Lamusio takes it. Keeps with it. Fights through multiple defenders. Now the slide tackle from Chernychev knocks it away, but Gresham recovers. Pass across to Menendez. Stolen away now by Hammond. Back to Frankel. Frankel back to Levy. Levy upfield, knocked away by Gresham. Moore kicks it back, downed by Frankel. Frankel gets around one defender, tries a pass, knocked away by Gresham. And now Freeze knocks it up to Ukamadu. Ukamadu trying to stay with the ball, gets it back to Gonzalez. Upfield taken by Chernychev, sending a leading kick. Race to the ball. Mason going to get there first, try and clear. Recover by Ukamadu. Ukamadu still dribbling. Sends a pass through off the mark, and it's booted away upfield. Deflected further upfield. This is a race. Wager got there first, but she can't collect it cleanly. Wager kicks it out of bounds. Michaela Thompson in pursuit there for King Philip. Throw in. Thompson has it on the near side and gets the corner kick. King Philip has scored 1 goal off a corner kick already. The header by Danielle Gresham, getting them their first goal of the game. Now they set up for another corner. Here it comes. Off ahead and out. And booted upfield by Frankel. Walled off by Smith. Smith pass finds Pisani. Pisani fakes. Now her kick walled off, goes back to Mason. Mason lifts it into the box where it's going to be taken off one hop by Thompson. As you can see, you can't actually see on the scoreboard clock with my angle, there's 6.5 minutes left. Pass to Wager. Wager turns and boots it upfield. Walled off by Lamoth Vaughn. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Throw in. Deflected away by Lamoth Vaughn. Booted high in the air by Thompson. Moore kicks it, but it's taken by Lamusio. Now kicked away again by Moore. Chased down by Wesley. Wesley upfield. It misses Lamusio, and I think Brookline's just going to let that one roll out of bounds. Throw in, knocked down, booted away by Frankel. Smith's kick deflected by Ukamadou and recovered by Levy. Knocked away from Levy. Ukamadou had it for a second, knocked away from her. Levy takes it, lost control, tries to tap pass back. Pisani kicks it away, but now Levy takes it back. Levy kicks it up. Leading pass, Wesley smartly clears it away as Hammond was applying the forward pressure. Now the windowsill's trying to close on me here at Parsons. Moore gonna throw it in to Levy, tapped back to Moore. Moore kind of whiffs on the kick there, recovered by Frankel. Frankel out of bounds. King Philip ball. We got a sub coming in for King Philip. So they have to stop and wait. And we are officially in stoppage time here in the second half. Clock frozen at 5 minutes. Only the officials know when this game will end. Throw in. Bouncing along. Leshley kick finds Levy. Levy kicks it upfield. Mason kind of whiffs on that one. As it bounces along now, Wesley kicks it upfield. Taken by Moore. Moore boots it. As that bounces along, headed away by Smith, taken by Frankel. Frankel trying to send one through for Hammond, cut off by Smith and knocked out of bounds. And it'll be Brookline ball. Throw in, downed by Hammond. Cleared away. Chernychev pops it high. Knocked away and kicked upfield by Smith. Booted back by Gonzalez. Off the head of Mason. Hammond tried to kick it. But now Wesley clears it upfield, downed by Moore. Moore boots it high. Ukamadou chasing. Ukamadou the header! Amra Ukamadou, goal number 2. And Madeline Moore, assist number 3. Two goals in today's game for both Gianna Pentland and Amra Ukamadou. Ukamadou, who scored the much-needed insurance goal at the end of Brookline's big upset over Franklin last year, in the round of 16, and now comes through to give her team a multi-goal lead in stoppage time. Clutch read by Ukamadu off a very well-placed pop-up pass by Maddie Moore, who now has 3 assists in 1 game. King Philip not going to lay it down. Brookline has to remember the comeback that they were forging at the start of this second half. They cannot get complacent, not even in stoppage time with a 2-goal lead. Scrumming for the ball, launches a kick across, off the head of Freeze, off the head of Levy. Chernychev boots it upfield. Mason cuts it off, kicks it, knocked down by Ukamadu. Ukamadu is taking off. Amru Ukamadu still dribbling, still going, finally knocked away by Lamoth Vaughn. 4-2, the Brookline lead here in stoppage time in the round of 16. And this one is knocked out of bounds. It's going to be a corner for Brookline. Frankel heading out to the corner to take this corner kick, and you can tell Brookline has got a more defensive setup as they don't have their header specialist, Anna Leshley, in the box. They have her back as part of the defensive line as they're just going to tap it into the corner and play the box-out game. Oh, but King Philip steals it away. Stall tactic did not work at all as King Philip now trying to work on the counterattack, but they lose the ball out of bounds. Throw-in goes off ahead, off another. Still more headers. And finally touches the ground. This one is deflected several which ways. Chernychev again applying that aggression in the midfield. But now King Philip trying to work up the far side, knocked away by Freeze. And Wager keeps it from drawing a corner as she launches it out of bounds for a throw-in. Quick throw-in, wasting no time. Trying to fight through a wall of blue jerseys there was Pisani. It's knocked away by Frankel. Hammond manages to knock it out to the near side to an open Moore. Moore popping this one up in the air. It's bouncing along. Smith kicks it away. Thompson heads it up in the air. Leshley knocks it away. And there is your triple whistle. The Brookline High Warriors, for the second year in a row, will advance to the round of 8. Your final score here at Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The Brookline Warriors 4, the King Philip Warriors 2. So, hats off to both teams, seriously. What a thrilling playoff contest that was. Even though this is the end of the season for King Philip, you got to give them some credit for almost coming back from a 3-0 halftime deficit. They put in a tremendous fight. Hats off to them. Hats off to their graduating seniors, Ella Pisani, Grace Lawler, Danielle Gresham, Rachel DeFlaminis, Isla Wablin, Maggie Griffin, Lauren Casper, Brooke Noonan, Gabriela Rodriguez. And yes, that is the senior class of 2023 for King Philip. Hold your heads up high. You almost delivered a thrilling comeback upset. Came up just a little short, but there's nothing to be ashamed of for that. As for Brookline, boy, you talk about a tale of two halves. Brookline came out like a house on fire in that first half. 3 goals scored. 2 by Gianna Pentland, both assisted by Maddie Moore, and 1 by Amra Ukamadu. In the second half, they struggled, gave up a corner kick header goal by Danielle Gresham, and then gave up a PK goal by Eilish McGowan, as King Philip managed to cut a 3-goal game down to a 1-goal game. But the Brookline defense managed to hold, and Amru Ukamadu came through with a critical insurance goal off another assist from Maddie Moore, who got 3 on the day. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this live stream. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. And now that Brookline has advanced to the round of 8, we will have to be on the lookout as they will face the winner of tomorrow's round of 16 game between number 2 Hingham and number 18 Shrewsbury. That game will be played in Hingham at 6 p.m. tomorrow. The winner of that game advances to face Brookline in the round of 8. If Hingham wins, it will be played at Hingham. If Shrewsbury manages a huge upset, then it will be played back here in Brookline. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, for what day the game is, for who's playing, etc., etc. I think right now the guess is that it's going to be played on Saturday, but, you know, still has to be confirmed. But for today's game, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Remember, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams, including this weekend's upcoming round of 8 contest for these Brookline Lady Warriors. So stay tuned for that. Subscribing to the channel can help. And if you've got anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the comment section if the stream is over. Thank you all so much for contributing in the live chat throughout. That was a lot of fun. And remember, check out the description section of the video down below for info on our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. Find out how you can help feed the Brookline community. And check out the bottom right corner of your screen. You can see the URL to my personal website, jessesports.com. If you want to find out more about me, the freelance sportscasting services that I provide, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team or player. Directly below that, my email address, jgms88@gmail.com, if you want to contact me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And then below that, the URL to my Instagram account, instagram.com/jgms88. I post highlights from previous live streams on my Instagram, so be sure to follow me for that. You can bet that Brookline's 4 goals will be going up on my Instagram in the next day or two. But for today's game, that is going to wrap it up. Final score, Brookline 4, King Philip 2, Pentland and Ukamadu with 2 goals each, Moore with 3 helpers, as Brookline advances to the round of 8. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.